Greetings 100 scholars. Today we focus on how to draft a thesis. You'll probably have noticed at this point that I ask you to draft a thesis later in the process than you might have encountered before with previous writing assignments, and that's because I don't want you to constrict or confine yourself early on by locking yourself into a series of reasons or arguments that aren't going to match where you actually went with your draft. So we draft our reasons and support in body paragraphs first, and then we come back and create a thesis sentence. So let's look at the rubric criteria for a thesis sentence. You can find these on your rubric. They're there for you on the screen. I won't read it to you, but the key elements are the guiding question matched up with a list or some other introduction of the reasons for work that you're going to discuss in your essay. So the reasons become the core of your topic sentences, and your thesis sums up all the topic sentences you're going to address. And if we think of topic sentences as claims, then we can think of the thesis as the point in our paper that states all of the major claims we're going to make. The guiding question, why should I work? Our thesis should answer that question, and each body paragraph should answer that question. There's some recommended strategies there on the rubric. The first one is something I would check off if I looked at a thesis in a paper and thought it needed work. I might recommend that you revise your thesis to answer the guiding question with a list or umbrella thesis. In other words, if I saw that you had an attempt at a thesis but it wasn't really working, this is the kind of recommendation I would make, and that helps you even before you've drafted something thinking about what your thesis should do. What I recommend is using the same formula we've been using for the topic sentences and just expand it. So instead of having a specific experience in our thesis, we have the job as a whole in our thesis, and then we add an active verb, and then we add the reasons that we are going to discuss in the paper. So I like to call that the used job plus active verb plus reasons based models. And I'm going to show you a couple of those models now. In fact, there's two primary approaches. One of them I call the list thesis. It's very simple, straightforward. The choo-choo train has taught me that I should work to be with others, run my own business, make money, and do something good for others. Very straightforward list of your reasons, your claims that you're going to discuss in your paper. And this is an A thesis. It's simple and clear, but it works. It's excellent. Some of us like to do more than that in our thesis statements, and those are great too, but you don't have to have a big fancy complex sentence to have an excellent thesis. Another type of approach that's listed on the rubric as an example for you comes from the Smarty Pants essay that we have been reading as our second sample, and it has a much more elaborate introduction to the reasons, and that's what the umbrella does. The umbrella sort of draws out a wide area that the whole essay is going to be encompassed under, and it includes the list of reasons or a variation on that list, but maybe presents a little more information to frame it. So if you need to take a minute to read that one over more carefully, this would be a good place to pause the video. But I'm going to go on to look at a couple samples. One is Joshua's essay about IHOP, which was the first sample that we've reviewed in the course. And I think he has a very nice, straightforward thesis. My 3 years at IHOP so far have shown me the importance of serving others, being responsible, and appreciating hard work. I don't think this is an excellent thesis because I think that the verb shows is weak. It's on my deadlies list of verbs on the back of the rubric. And I also think the appreciating hard work reason is a little fuzzy, and so this could be a better thesis, but I'd say it's at least a solid B thesis. And if this was turned in to me on a paper now, I'd say look for a stronger verb and clarify that last reason. But still, it's a solid thesis, and it follows the simple list model. Here's another sample that follows the larger umbrella paradigm model. There's a little bit more introductory information before we get to that list, but really the list is still embedded within it. And I think learning to have sort of a simple list of your claims as a thesis structure is a really great place to start your college composition career. So here we have a sample. I despise my job at the supermarket, but I admit this horrible experience has taught me I need work that stimulates my mind, satisfies my desire to help others, and helps me support my family. I like that this one has lots of strong verbs: despise, admit, stimulate, satisfy, helps. This is definitely an A-level thesis for me, and I think it gives you some good ideas of the power of the simple, clear verb to enliven your prose. And that's going to be a theme we're going to keep coming back to. Good, clear, active verbs as a tool for dynamic claims that can be supported. All right, I hope this was a helpful introduction. Thanks for your time.